Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Family Vacation. As you can tell, I am not your host, AJ Tenari, but your other host, Matt Glass. Last week, you heard AJ talk about Blondshell's self-titled record, and what a fine review it really was. I'm honestly kind of amazed with how much AJ's been able to make this work, given the fact that I've seen the difficulty of recording a review without a partner, like in our usual format. So if you haven't already, please give the first 2 episodes of Family Vacation a try. AJ has some pretty amazing points about all these albums that we're taking a look at for this summer. But before we get into my review, let's do a little ad break.
Hey Matt, you know what I love?
Steely Dan?
Well, yes, but I also love how easy it is for 2 goobers like us to make a podcast.
I mean, with Spotify for Podcasters, it's no wonder. Spotify for Podcasters is a one-stop shop that's got everything you need to create the perfect podcast.
That's right. Using Spotify for Podcasters, you can directly record and edit your podcast wherever you are, using their intuitive and easy-to-use website.
And once you're done editing, Spotify for Podcasters takes care of the hard part and distributes your podcast directly to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are available.
And now you can even make video podcasts available on Spotify, which gives you even more freedom to make the podcast you want, while also giving your lovely listeners a chance to see your face.
Speaking of listeners, Spotify for Podcasters also encourages fan engagement by letting you get feedback directly from your listeners with Q&As and polls made by you.
You can even make money with your podcast through ads, podcast subscriptions, and donations directly from your audience.
Spotify for Podcasters offers all of this, and it's completely free to use with no catch whatsoever.
Guys, Spotify for Podcasters made recording and distributing the family album so easy. Being able to schedule our episodes ahead of time and letting them take care of distribution took so much weight off our shoulders.
For anyone that's ever even thought about starting a podcast, we highly recommend giving Spotify for Podcasters a try.
You can download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
Once again, download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters. All right, guys. Well, the album I'm throwing your way today is none other than Why Does the Earth Give Us People to Love, commonly known as Why Does the Earth, by Kara Jackson. It was released on April 14th, 2023, and the album has received critical acclaim with an average score of 8 out of 10 from critics such as Pitchfork, Exclaim, Loud and Quiet, Paste, and AllMusic. It has been praised for its incisive lyricism, profound imagery, and beautiful vocals. Jackson herself is an American poet, singer, and songwriter from Oak Park, Illinois. She was named the United States National Youth Poet Laureate from 2019 to 2020, and her work has appeared in many publications such as Frontier Poetry, Rookie Mag, Nimrod Literary Journal, The Lily, and St. Heron. The album has been lauded for exploring the themes of love, loss, and heartbreak in a raw and honest way, but also in a fashion that reinforces self-discovery. Many have also praised the fact that her lyrics being paired with such a pleasant sound in the overall tone of the album provides for a very dark yet comforting experience. So given the fact that this miniseries is a bit more on the experimental side, I decided that instead of a track-by-track review, I'm just going to give more of a brief overview based off of the 4 things I was looking for in this album. And those 4 things are lyrics, musicality, performance, and production. In between, I'll give you some examples and tracks to check out separately if you really want to see what I mean. But also, at the end, I'm going to give my usual overview and the rating. So let's dive in. First, we got the lyrics. I'd say the album's lyrics are pretty brilliant overall. She has this usage of metaphor and imagery that's emotionally intelligent, covers a wide range of subjects, yet is nevertheless really simple to understand too. She obviously is a poet at heart based off of the word choices and placements that she has in the song. Since they discuss certain ideas, some of the lyrics as well as the story and language that go with it honestly kind of astounded me. The mantra-like hooks, choruses, and bridges are frequently written with the power of paint splattered on the wall, but they gradually soften through the way that the music is played, as if the musician were an artist painting a canvas with each stroke being purposely placed. Some lyrics that I really wanted to shout out is number 1 from the track Brain, Sleep Isn't Cheap and Your Love Is No Currency. The next one would be from the other track Rat, Shook the country from him like a cub clawing its father, couldn't buy compassion cause it cost him $40. And then finally, from one of my personal favorite tracks, Dickhead Blues. Damn the dickhead blues when you're feeling as broke as a bottle of booze. Damn the dickhead blues like a soda straw strangling you. I really like the way that these lyrics sort of paint an image that you'll never forget. Alrighty, next up, I want to talk about the musicality. And I gotta say, overall, the level of genre bending and pushing is quite commendable for a folk album. To merely call Jackson a folk artist is, in all honesty, a huge understatement. She has a strong sense of theory, and it shows in so many of these tracks, especially in ones like Pawn Shop and Curtains. Each song has something different to be admired, ranging from monophonic accompaniment to authentic musical testaments to R&B and jazz. In addition, I'll note that for an album that was previously referred to as experimental, the tone is rather consistent. Every time I've listened to this album, it's become clear that it can't be categorized as belonging to a single genre. A track's percussion can make you shiver, while another track's vigor and intensity are closer to those of a cinematic chamber pop composition. If there's definitely one thing I'd say, the level of uncatchiness is something to be admired throughout the entirety of this record, and I don't think people will be bored with the end result. Now we're going to discuss the delivery and performance of the album, and I would say that Kara Jackson's delivery of all her lines is unmistakably different from that of many modern female vocalists that we hear today. Her vocals on each track are not embellished with runs or riffs, but they're delivered in a straightforward singing tone. Given the flow of each composition and the overall tone of the album, I believe this works pretty well to emphasize the sincerity of the words. Despite this, Jackson's voice is deep, silky, and curiously compelling, which is impressive given the album's many negative topics and themes. Lastly, I want to talk about the production, and I'd say, yet again, the experimental label on this record, it doesn't undersell or oversell the production's value. The majority of the songs are smooth and mild, and they all sound coherent in terms of their resemblance to one another. And there isn't a single point in the album where I get whiplash because a song sounds too different or strange in comparison to another. Minor production decisions include non-musical sound effects like a voicemail message left by a supposed dickhead in her song Dickhead Blues. The album doesn't take as many risks, but is rather purposed and well-paced. Some tracks have small vocal effects in their respective subsections, like in the song Rat. However, there aren't a lot of others that stood out enough to irritate or annoy me. This experimental album's production is well-balanced, I'd say. Overall, I think the album is something to marvel at because of its highly unusual method of presenting itself. The lyrics are not drowned out by the noise around them, which is great because they're bold, caustic, scathing, piercing, but simply observant. I would probably say that my favorite tracks on this record are No Fun/Party, Dickhead Blues, Rat, Curtains, and Free, but in no particular order. The record, in my opinion, has elegance in handling numerous issues of the heartbreak and loneliness we feel in the dating scene. And I have to compliment it for not feeling reckless and risky like many other songs that deal with this exact same topic. In that regard, the record completely blew me away. With the exception of maybe the album's length, my criticisms are rather small. My recent threshold for album fatigue has been around 40 minutes in the last few months, but this record clocks in at a slightly daunting 52 minutes and 6 seconds. It's not that big of an issue in my opinion because I think it can be easily overlooked, and sometimes I like longer albums. The only thing more I'd say is that the last 3 tracks don't have as much momentum as I'd like them to, even though Curtains is one of my favorite songs on the record. Unfortunately, this is a minor symptom of having too many that stand out so early on. I really adore everything on this record, and I'm honored to give it a well-deserved 9.1 out of 10 and put it in A tier. Alright guys, that about ends this episode of Family Vacation. I didn't want to say too much about the album to go on for so long, and I also wanted you guys to experience some of its other facets on your own, because I feel like this album is truly something to marvel in one sitting. Now, thank you AJ for letting me on this little mini-series for an episode, and let us know what you guys think of this series and what you guys want to see next. We love your input. We love it wherever you put it. So, as always, I'm Matt Glass, and I will see you all very, very soon. Peace!